We are the PSG guys.
I believe you don't have a license, right? Okay, good. Okay, so for those, I just give you a brief on because typically on one people so they know the basics of driving. Okay, so the furthest way to go is the accelerator pedal. And there's a brake. It's a very simple auto bus. Okay, so first of all, I need you to see whether you can see your two brake heads. You can see your two brake heads. Alright, okay. So you can lean towards the right. Yeah, okay. You look to your left hand side. Can you see the door is open? See the door is closing. Okay, interesting, right?
Link.
Okay. Now I need you to find the.
I do same as you. Opposite you have power.
Okay, nice. Okay, press brake. Brake. Oh.
Why?
It's called a runaway bus. Now you need to see whether there's a patch that is actually entering the bus. Okay, so that you see there's a patch. You set the button brake, and then you open the front door. That is closer to you. Yeah. Okay, smile. Smile at him. It actually captures that you're smiling. So there's actually a point of order if you capture that you're smiling. Oh, bus captain cannot see. You need to switch the gear to neutral first. The gear is at the top right hand corner.
Yes, thank you. Uncle just need a little help getting off the bed.
It's a linker, it's a linker.
I thought it's 822.
What's the double seat in front?
Thank you so much for the help. Thank you for your assistance. Uncle really appreciate it.
Yeah, so recognize the voice itself. This is what he's saying. Okay? Once you're done, you can blink away slowly. Okay? Next thing you do is to close the door. Okay? You need to see whether the passenger is seated down. Okay, nice. Then check the right side for oncoming traffic. You can use the mirror. Okay? Then look straight ahead. Change the gear to drive. Parking brake. Parking brake is set to drive. At this moment, right, this steering wheel, you can just turn it around here because it is arbitrary already. Okay? It's more for customer experience training. Okay, so right at the end, there will be a report that will be generated.
Give you, ladies and gentlemen, your context. Next, we will be signing a contract with CRRC Sifang on KSFE Train Technology Refresh Proof of Concept. Project Tolerance is our vision for a common cloud-based platform for effective and efficient integrated asset resource management system built on IBM methodology. This platform will consolidate multiple maintenance management systems into a single unified system.
Supply EV chargers to customers. Okay, so we've now. Right. Are you ready for the next question?
That's the knowledge of their kind of UITP partners,
Since also employees, they are
But last year I went there because of site commissioning. We have one my favorite project in Congratulations on 1 hour.